Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. We all see that Bitcoin actually crossed 26,000 today, and it's at 25,900 now. Down a little bit, but not very much. And there are rumors that the 26,000 resistance will not hold very long due to derivatives and options markets. But why is this happening? Bank runs are taking a toll on the financial system. And that generally signals a downward trend for both inflation. Both inflation and the financial markets overall. Well, some people are biting on the theory that the bank runs are hurling people towards Bitcoin investment because of the fragility of the banking system. We're going to talk about that today, but first of all, I have to say I don't really think so because if you look at the overall financial markets are up by several hundred points. And when it was up by over 400 points today, Bitcoin was above 26,000. Now it's at 375. It's fallen below 26,000, so it's moving with the financial markets. Also, the First Republic Bank, which was actually having a bank run, their shares are up 50%. As regional banks are rebounding off Monday sell-off, and that's because yesterday the government actually guaranteed depositors' funds. Depositors will not actually cause a bank run as long as the government guarantees their funds, because then they're assured that even if the bank goes down, we still have our deposits. Moody's says U.S. banking system is basically moving in a rapidly deteriorating operating environment, but that does not seem to actually scare people. And I do think that the Fed is actually going to lay off on the interest rate increases because inflation did come in slightly lower than expected, 6.0 to 6.1, 6.0 as opposed to 6.1. And outside the bank run, we have more layoffs like Tyson Foods laid off 1,700 workers. Meta or Facebook laid off 10,000 workers. So we have that much to actually go on. But the theory that people are running to Bitcoin because the banking system is fragile is very attractive. And I think there might be some truth to it because there are four banks that are in trouble, First Republic being one of them. And even though it's rebounded, you still have SVB, you have Silvergate and Signature that actually closed. Now, Signature, I think, actually closed because the U.S. forced it to shut down and it wasn't actually insolvent. The other two were obviously insolvent. Silvergate was more of a crypto bank, whereas SVB was not indeed a crypto bank. It was just more of a tech startup bank. The thing is, I do think there are some people that move money into crypto, but I think is a little bit of fear in crypto right now that they're shutting off all the fiat on-ramps, and I don't think that's an unfounded fear. If you look at Binance, they just shut off the pound sterling on-ramp. Now, Binance doesn't really work off that much off pound sterling, more than the dollar, but not that much on the pound sterling. And without Silvergate and Signature, there are less places to actually put your crypto. I still think everyone should just put it on their own ledger, but if you have millions upon millions upon millions of dollars in crypto, you might want a third party to actually custody it. There are other custody services out there. And I think this kind of follows a migration from centralized exchanges like Coinbase into decentralized exchanges currently. And politicians had better take note, because decentralized things are much harder to control for them than centralized things. If you get more harsh restrictions in, people will move to DEXs that you can't control. And I don't think America is going to ban VPNs the way that kind of like China has either, because I don't think people will actually go for it. So I think you're just making things harder on yourself. I do think there is some credibility in people flowing into Bitcoin because the banking system is fragile. And I don't think people are buying the narrative that crypto is what's causing the bank run. Because if that was true, people are basically people are actually not believing it, because if people believed it, crypto would be having a dump as well. So essentially, there's also money moving in from stable coins into Bitcoin because there were price flashes to 50K on Binance. It didn't obviously retain it after USD coin peg snaps, because people are not wanting to move back into fiat, but they're moving into Bitcoin after USDC collapsed. So if Tether collapsed, there actually might be a temporary Bitcoin pump. I think it would be terrible for the market overall, but if the USD peg actually snapped on some of these, I think not everyone would exit the market, but they would actually pour money into BTC as the ultimate peg. So the thing is, right now, I do think there is some credibility, and I do think the weak banking system makes people want to essentially go into something that's not actually controlled by the U.S. government. But overall, I think it's more to do with the financial markets actually boosting today and the inflation rate going down to 6.0. With the inflation rate going down to 6.0, people are having more confidence in the market. And I do think 30K is just around the corner. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.